Welcome to another edition of A Meeting with Gervis. I'm Gervis Williams, your host, reminding you to like, share, and subscribe. It's Women's History Month. And this month, as we celebrate Women's History, I couldn't think of anyone greater or better than my good friend, the great Lena Charles. Miss Lena, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me and even thinking about me.
Mm-hmm. So, Miss Lena, who is Lena Fartno Charles?
Oh, I'm so glad you put Fartno in
I
there.
know how much you love that boy.
Yes. I don't know. I guess a lot of folks would like to define who Lena Charles is or would say what I'm about. But for me, I'm just an average person just trying to do the best I can to do God's will, because I got to make it to heaven.
Right.
And the best way to get to heaven is to do His will.
That's right.
And knowing that if I do His will, He'll give me everything I need to get it done.
Right.
But getting back to who Lena Charles is, I always desired to be a lady and to get something done.
Okay. Well, I've seen that, Lena, the lady. Matter of fact, one of our viewers, a good friend of mine and yours, who made me get my new look. I don't know if you noticed my new look. I'm pretty much hairless. Yes, Joey Richard. Joey Richard loves him some Miss Lena.
Oh,
yes, he said that's my baby Lena. So I know Joey's one of my big viewers. So yeah, the lady part, and of course you're a lady of faith. You're a lady who loves her community. You do almost more for the community. And Miss Lena, you take care of yourself well to say that you're always on a run. You know?
the crazy.
Of course, black don't crack neither. And you're the definition of that, you know. So tell me more. So what do you have going on as you go on as Lena Charles?
What I have going on?
Yeah.
It's a multitude of things.
Right.
It depends what area.
Right. So, but you're involved with Apple's development, downtown development.
Yes.
Other civic groups,
Yes.
other religious groups.
Yes.
It just goes on and on. And
Well,
we won't go over this part because it's part here is very touching to me as well. Because parenthood, it means something. It's one of the hardest jobs ever.
Yeah.
And we will not go without recording. We won't go on recording this without mentioning Brian.
Yes.
And so you're a mother.
Yes.
You know, you was a mother. You are a mother. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. And we thank you for that. You mentioned something about my boy, and he's a lot like your boy, because Brian if you didn't tell him anything, he didn't tell you anything. But if you spoke to him, he spoke to you with respect and always with dignity.
Thank you.
Every time I met him, you know,
Thank you.
when you visit the radio station, you sent him to do something, he did it. As an adult, he still showed that you raised a wonderful young man.
Thank you so much for
And
that.
so, yeah.
Those are very kind words. And I had a simple prayer for Brian.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up, or before they grew up, you
Right.
have all kind of ideas of what and who this person is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and how can I influence that. But as he was growing up, then I realized certain things, and I had a simple prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Gervis, it says, I ask God to allow me to live long enough to see Brian be a blessing to others.
Mm-hmm.
To serve others is to serve God.
That's right.
And that was the prayer.
Yeah.
And I pray that when I crack a prayer for Brian, to serve others is to serve God. And I get to see that.
Right.
He serves the community.
Right.
In the neighborhood as the Uber driver.
Mm-hmm.
You know how expensive it is to
Right.
pay bills on bill day.
Mm-hmm.
And he had certain, my niece said certain clientele he bring to the store
Right.
and pay bills and stuff. And just be there for them. If it was a doctor, if they needed to go to Lafayette
Right.
to an appointment or something like that. And my prayer was simple, and God answered it, but I really didn't know how I was praying.
Right. That's right.
Because I should have said, I did not want to go before him.
Mm.
I mean, and
Right,
that's how it
right,
happened.
Right.
But anyway, thank you for sharing it, and thank you for allowing me to take a few moments to talk about it.
Sure. Yeah. And so, so you had Brian for how many years?
53.
53 years. And that's where I'm at now, 53.
God gave him to me for 53,
Yeah.
and I had to give him back.
He's still with you spiritually,
Yeah.
you know. But let's get down to the business of the community, your other children, the city of Opelousas, downtown development. You all did something different that's going to affect the community for thousands of years.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, you know, especially in our community, things have to last a long time because, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Sometimes you get just one shot and it passes you by. And, being in the right place at the right time means a lot too.
Right.
And when you are in that place, you don't want it to pass you by.
Right.
And I had dreams about rebuilding and revitalizing my neighborhood originally. And I go all the way back to my root is tourism.
Right,
And the Zydeco Festival
Right.
and the culture,
That's right.
the African American culture, and the authenticity of being Creole in this patch of Creole country
Right.
is something that's just really not really realized
That's right.
by everyday citizens and how they fit into that. And that had been, you could see that's a passion.
Right.
And bringing in that crowd of people to where we live, they come to see
That's
who
right.
we are.
That's right.
And we're not appreciating it, and we live it here.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
But they
Sitting
come
in
in
greatness.
from all over
Yeah.
to see us,
Mhm, exactly.
and they bring in their dollars in.
That's right.
And that has support the economy, the subsidized economy,
That's right.
so to speak.
Mhm.
So because we kept letting it bleed out,
Mhm.
it just kept bleeding out and
Right.
not coming back in. But these are dollars that come in and they stay in, and we keep inviting them, and they invite other folks to come and see what this is all about, this
Right.
cycle thing. And so then I said, well, since it's just tourism, I want to be involved in trying to see what we can do to bring economic development back into the city.
Mhm.
And I started to be on the San Andrew Parish Economic Development Board.
Okay.
And my first attempt didn't kind of go anywhere. So
Okay.
then I went for an interview, or I had a meeting with someone, and that kind of didn't go anywhere either. So, but it was still on my radar, so to speak, and I shared it with some folks. And one day my sister called and saw an ad in the paper saying that item was coming up. So I put in my application through parish government.
Okay.
And then that's how I ended up going
Okay.
through parish government, which I had a relationship with tourism and all that stuff, and how hard we work
Right.
with parish government,
Right.
not only through our events, but making sure we have safe events,
Right.
and that ambassadorship that we represent when those folks come here.
Mhm.
So that's how I ended up getting on that board, and then from that board, the newly developed downtown development district came along,
Right.
and then that board appointed me to the ODD,
Mhm.
and then that's kind of like history.
Right.
I think maybe nobody else wanted the chairperson, but either way, that's how I.
Now that you see how busy you are with that.
No, I
huh?
would think, yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I saw you at the last council meeting, and you addressed the council, letting them know the importance of the project, the stadium and the South Park. I don't think most people, I should say, don't understand that having the South Park blow up the way it's going to, the connection from the South Park, Crestwell Lane, the casino, I-49, welcome to Opelousas, and bigger than that, welcome to St. Leger Parish. And so with that new development, the whole parish will be funded through that, because with the parish seat, when Opelousas gets money, the parish can get money. Melville gets it, Palmetto, Krotz Springs, these little towns make it through parish funds. And parish funds, Jesse, you don't mind me saying, most of the parish funds, Eunice and Opelousas, but Opelousas. And we thank you for that job there. The stadium, you all are doing the stadium first, or the track first, rather?
Let me say something.
Okay.
You get it.
Okay.
You got it. And it's so refreshing
Right.
to know that you got it.
Right.
That is the whole reason that we are investing in this infrastructure. This infrastructure is not just the land and based infrastructure, but the one component you kind of didn't get to.
Okay.
You didn't leave it out on purpose.
Go ahead.
But that you didn't get to is the quality of life
Exactly.
of the citizens of
That's right.
Opelousas.
Mhm.
So you not just want to bring people in just to keep their dollars here,
That's right.
but you want to lift up the quality of life
That's right.
of your citizens that live here,
That's right.
build their pride up, build their esteem of who they are.
Right.
You know, when I gotta say this, when I think of that track being added to that stadium, that phase one
Right.
was Rodney Milburn
Okay.
went to the Olympics, 72 Munich,
Right.
on a dirt track and a country course,
Okay.
and came back with a gold medal.
That's right. That's
Do
right.
our kids have that ability to dream big like that?
That's right.
Do we give them some incentive and some hope and some encouragement? It's not only for the children now, for the next generation,
Right.
but even the yet to be born
That's right.
will be
That's
able
right.
to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's just phase one.
Well, that's almost scripture where he says that what he said, a good man leaves an inheritance not only for his children, but his children's children.
Right.
And so that's what we have to do.
Right.
Um,
But now let me touch a little bit on the way you connected the corridor, and that's when I said you get it.
right.
Because when it comes to economic development, you don't have all the opportunities that just come by every day.
Right.
Well, you should have somebody working on it to do something every day.
Right. We
All
should.
right. And then the ODD's purpose in creation was to find ways to revitalize the Opelousas within that corridor.
Mhm.
Let me explain what the corridor is. That's Main and Union
Okay.
and Vine and Landry. That cross.
Mm-hmm.
We go all the way before you get to the Yamberley Bullet west. On east, it's going to be Lowe's.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then on north and south, we go to Super One, Heather Drive,
Okay.
and we go to Martin Luther King.
Okay.
All right. So that's the corridor,
Mhm.
and you're not venturing too far off of
Off
the
of it,
corridor,
right. Mhm.
but that's your core,
Mhm.
and that's your core businesses for
Okay.
the city of Opelousas.
Right.
And at the time when we did the master plan and the study, and we got my hands on some documents that we had 65 vacant properties within that corridor.
Okay.
So how I did not count how many thriving businesses, but you had tax dollars that bleeded out by not having these business
Right.
properties put back into commerce.
Right.
All right, so you got that to do, and that's very difficult because you had a lot of things that had to take place. Pass an ordinance
Right.
and start getting property owners to be responsible
Right.
to move that forward. But how do you quick fix to get some extra dollars and boom your economic from
Right.
what you have right now? So what do you have right now? You have coming off that corridor of I-49,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the entrance
Okay.
is Crestwell.
Right.
That is loaded with businesses.
That's right.
All down
That's
Crestwell
right.
till it gets to Union.
Mm-hmm.
That's our corridor.
Right.
And then what's on the other side of Union is the South Park.
That's right.
Perfect entrance.
That's right.
So perfect entrance to make sure that we create that connection,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's right.
And so and then we talked about the quality of life. So when we studied why we wanted to get involved,
Mhm.
when the school board asked us,
Okay.
we ended up saying yes.
Okay.
That's where it came from.
Right. Originally.
something happened, it didn't work out, and then the city says, okay, this is what we want to do.
Right.
And we're a political subdivision.
Okay.
City's a political subdivision.
Okay.
So these two entities naturally partner on a lot of things, and we partner with the city. We respectfully want them to ask if they need something that
Okay.
we can partner on.
Right.
If it fits within our guidelines.
Mhm.
We're not responsible for everyday citizens.
That's right.
Or for their welfare, for their roads, their streets, their bridges, you know.
But we have councilmen and
We got
city councilmen,
exactly.
parish councilmen,
And
and
they're
so
by
on.
districts, you know.
Right, that they're with those districts.
So the best way that we could say is the quality of lives, because you have to have
That's right.
quality of life.
That's right.
You have to set standards.
Yeah.
And when you have a lot of poverty, the standards keep getting lower and
That's right.
lower,
That's right.
and you get discouraged.
That's right.
Revitalization is not only to revitalize the buildings,
Mhm.
the infrastructure, but the people.
The people as well. The people matter so much.
Yes,
Um,
that's the spirit.
Yeah, I mean, if I come to a town and I meet the people, I may want to stay there.
That's right.
You know, and then I get to see the community and say, I can make this place better. Because guess what? I chose to live here. You know? And that's just one of the things that hey, look, Opelousas, I'm one of the guys who come from outside. I love my hometown, still support it. But I came here, fell in love with the people, and I'm here to stay.
Well, my thing was I could leave.
Okay?
I was involved in the corporate world and had opportunity to live in a lot of other places.
Right.
Follow the job, but get another job
Right,
within the
right.
same
Mhm.
time. No place like home.
That's
No
right,
place,
that's right.
and I've been a lot of places.
Right.
And I love a lot of different places
Mhm.
to visit.
Right.
I think my family kept me rooted here, but also the people.
Right.
The people and the way we live. You know, we think about the love to go to New York, hustle and bustle of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Think
So
I-
you've been there before, though.
I've been there. I love to go to New York, but I can't get in my car in my own
That's right.
driveway
That's right. That's right.
underneath my own
No,
carport.
not going to happen. Not New York.
No.
Right.
You know, well, it could happen if you
live in the upper New York area,
if
maybe,
you have
but not
that
downtown.
kind of income.
Oh,
Right.
okay, okay.
Right, but not in uptown Manhattan. There's some places in Harlem, Spanish Harlem. You
Mhm.
know. But anyway, I do believe that there is no place like home. And if you, Father McKnight used to tell me this all the time, if we can't make it happen in Opelousas,
You can't.
we can make it happen anywhere. And so I'm still working on that dream of
Okay.
making it happen in
Okay.
Opelousas
Okay.
as best as I can.
Well, you have one big one that it's blowing. I mean, it's going to happen. The stadium's coming. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to see the lights from the I-49. But there are other programs that you were involved in, like the beautification. You know, now we have the beautification at Holy Ghost Church over across the street. The building that my doctor, I think y'all fixing place on that I go to. You know, the beautiful restaurant that's now going to open on Peugeot is going to be open on Fridays now, Friday evenings, and they have other extended hours. So beautification of that. Of course, that's the old Schutz building that looks great now. The new porch and so on. But so many other buildings. You might want to name some more.
So I just want to clarify something that we don't actually do the beautification.
That's Main Street.
That's Main Street.
I get them so
but no,
confused.
but still, I just want to explain.
Okay.
We have a big grant.
Okay.
And they apply and they tell us what they want to do with it.
Okay.
And they have to qualify to not only receive it, but it's a matching grant.
Okay.
And they use it for their infrastructure.
Okay.
But it's the property owners that take on the initiative.
Okay.
So guess what?
So they get the
And
funding
it started
from
through
your
the
program.
pandemic.
Okay.
And I got a committee that works on that.
Yes.
And it started during the pandemic when I went to visit. How is these businesses staying open?
Right,
We,
right.
we shut down, we just opened, everybody's, how, and it's small little business.
Right.
And I gotta tell you, it was wild, child. I sat there for 45 minutes with my mask in a little corner and observed how this young lady would interact with folks
Right.
and stuff like that. And then it was the old Jim Bowie's house. with the big oak tree
Mm-hmm.
on Landry. She had a problem with some porch and the handle for the steps
Okay.
was wobbly.
Right.
And it says this is really a safety hazard. She said, yes, Miss Lena. She said, but I'm trying to manage the funds, and I'm not sure if I spend that on this, I wouldn't be doing this, And it's a struggle.
Right.
So I thought about it, I said, if we had a little funds that they could get, they could reinvest that
Right.
in their business. And when you reinvest in your business, that's economic development.
It is.
And it's business retention as well, because you don't want them to go out of business.
That's
You
right.
don't want them to get sued.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So you stabilizing that business by them taking the funds that they needed to save to run,
Right.
and they wanted to do this project, they can do it now. And they can, the match would come back to them.
Okay.
And that's how we started with 500, and we do 10,000 now.
Yeah.
It's very competitive now too,
Okay.
because a lot of folks have heard about it. So we just don't pick a house or pick a building, excuse me,
That's right.
or a
Right.
business.
Right.
We let them, apply for it, and they have to have the incentive of a project that's gonna
Okay.
reinvest in their building. And the last count we had over, I would just say over 200,000 reinvested with the last round of funding of the grants, and it was only 10 awarded.
Wow.
Within that, that's a lot of funds.
And one of the other programs that you are affiliated with, I'm sure. Okay, I'm not sure which one works with that, but it's coming up soon. It's the art program, where the kids from all over St. Landry Parish, from the marching bands, the different arts. Tell us about that program.
Well, we learned about it a few years ago, and it's just an exciting thing. I'm not sure what it was going to look like. I have a relationship with back to tourism,
Yeah.
Acadian Arts Council, and my good friend, she just retired, Gwen Reshort, and Sam. And so when they told me at their office that Sam was involved and they contacted us and they wanted us to be a sponsor, I wanted to know a little bit more about it and stuff like that, so I could bring it to the board. And after we learned that it would be inviting all the schools in St. Landry Parish
Okay.
to participate, it took place at our beautiful courthouse.
That's right.
That we had
That's right.
kind of did some upgrades there.
Right.
That was one of our first projects. And then they would get the parents and the kids coming together to show what they had.
Right.
And so we sponsored it here, and I'm telling you, every dollar we put in, it was worth it.
It was worth it.
You had kids that had made things at the school, was selling them. You had all these little different booths. And last year they sold over $6,000
Really?
worth of things on that day.
And how many hours is that?
I would say maybe 4 to 6.
Yeah.
It's not morning
Yeah,
to
right,
night,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
4 to 6. It could have been 4 to 6 hours, you know. And from food to barbecue pits that they made at the little
Right.
industrial school
Right,
in Washington.
Showing their craft, showing their skill.
Yeah, and
Vocal,
quality,
that's right.
quality stuff, arts, jewelry, of course, food,
Yeah, definitely.
food, yes.
Yeah, a lot of
And,
delicious food.
So this year we're gonna sponsor it again,
Okay.
and the date's gonna be coming up pretty soon. And you're gonna have to look it up to tell me what date it is. I think
It's
it might
only
be
a few weeks away.
I think it might be the 29th of March.
Could be.
Or April the 12th.
We'll have
There's
that.
two
on
different
there.
dates. I
We'll
got
have
it in
it
my
on
mind.
there. It's not April. I think it's going to be in March.
March, well then it's gonna be
Yeah.
March the 29th.
Okay.
That's the last Saturday.
Yes.
Right.
Sounds good. We're talking to Miss Lena Charles. It's Women's History Month. It's a meeting with Gervis. We're right back right after this. Yeah. Yeah.
They're not scared.
Yeah, that's all right. We were already rolling, so, and we're back with Miss Lena Charles, as we celebrate Women's History Month. Ms. Lena, you were telling me that Women's History Month, you ordinarily celebrated in Haiti.
Pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic.
Yes, with the sisters and the women groups in Fanwa, Haiti. We used to be. I planned the delegation around that March 8th, which is International Women's Day, so that we could celebrate the women of the community that work so hard, and they actually are the backbone of the community.
As most women are.
Yes, yes, yes. So we have a cake to celebrate it, as well as we get a band from the local band in the community.
Okay.
And of course we'd be dancing Zadig Ho.
Okay.
And they would be dancing Haitian, and we just someone we could dance together.
Right. Okay.
So it was just fun. It was really fun, and it was also towards the end of the trip, and so it was a way of celebrating the successes that we had achieved on the delegation.
Great.
And getting new folks to get involved and hopefully commit to sponsor.
Thank you for joining us today. Next time we'll talk about Haiti and a whole lot more. And we're going to work on that round table real soon. It's been a meeting with Gervis. Our guest, Miss Lena Charles, Miss Lena Charles. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you can follow Miss Lena Charles on her Facebook page as well. Miss Lena, if they'd like to reach you, can you give us a number to reach you?
Give you a number to
Well,
reach.
not
Everybody knows my number.
Well, not my international people.
Yeah, you got it?
I sure do.
Oh my God.
But, okay.
337-290-6048.
Okay. It's been a meeting with Gervis. Until next time, see you later.